God says, 10 seconds left. God is trying to reach you, and you always skip it. Don't hurt God by skipping. Something unexpected is going to happen suddenly. Open this message immediately before 11:35 p.m. or you'll suffer badly. Stop, breathe, listen. This is not just a passing moment. This is God calling your heart right now. Heaven has been trying to reach you again and again, but your mind keeps moving. You keep scrolling. You keep skipping. Don't do it this time. If you walk away now, you may miss something so important that your soul will cry for it later. Your miracle is hanging by a thread. This is God's final attempt to catch your heart before something shifts suddenly. You need to hear this. You were not brought here by accident. You are standing at the edge of something supernatural. And if you turn your back now, you'll walk right past the very thing your heart has been secretly begging for. Please comment, Amen, if you can feel this. The moment you saw this, heaven began watching. 10 seconds may not seem like much, but that's all it takes for a breakthrough to begin or for destruction to come if you're not in position. God is not playing with your life. He sees the tears you never show, the pain you laugh through, the nights you wish would just end. And now, in this very second, He is reaching out with a voice louder than your doubts. Don't you see? The clock has been ticking, and grace has been holding off the storm. But when time runs out, only obedience can cover you. God is crying out, not in anger, but in mercy. He doesn't want to lose you to a world that never cared about your soul. This isn't fear. This is love that refuses to let you keep walking into your own destruction. You've been feeling it. That strange weight in your chest, the signs around you, the delays, the closed doors, the sudden silence. It wasn't bad luck. It was God trying to get your attention, trying to stop you from heading into something He never wrote into your life. But your ears have been full of noise. You scroll, you click, you skip, and God waits. Until now. If you believe this, comment 1111. This is the moment when you get to decide what side of the shift you will stand on. God is not just giving a message, He's sounding an alarm. The enemy has already set traps ahead of you. People you're about to trust who will break you. Opportunities that look good but are poisoned. Decisions you're about to make without prayer that will cost years of healing. And yet, in His goodness, God is still standing between you and that fall, reaching, warning, whispering in every way He can. That's why you're here. That's why this is in front of you now. Don't ignore it. Don't silence it. You may not get another nudge like this before the storm hits. God has not abandoned you. He never left. Even when you were in places you had no business being. Even when you loved people who shattered your soul. Even when you thought you had sinned too much to be looked at again, He was still there, watching, waiting, sending signs, preparing mercy. But there comes a time when even mercy waits no more. When God says, now or never. This is that time. There is something that is about to change very quickly. A loss, a shift, a shock. And only those who are under His covering will stand strong. This isn't just about survival. This is about destiny, about your family, your future, your purpose. God does not want you to suffer, but if you keep walking without Him, you'll walk straight into the pain He's trying to keep you from. Don't test grace. Don't gamble with time. Every second matters now, and your soul knows this is true. If no one else hears this but you, it's still worth everything, because God sees you. Not the you everyone else thinks they know, but the you that's tired of pretending. The you that's screaming on the inside. The you that feels forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not too far gone. And this is not the end. God is reaching because He still has plans for you. plans to restore, plans to rebuild, plans to lift you from the ashes, but you must choose, you must answer. If you're still here, I ask you once, with love like this video, if your heart is still beating and you know this is speaking straight to your spirit. Many times before, you brushed it off. You said, maybe later. But what if there is no later? What if this is the last time God tugs at your soul like this before the shift happens? You can't afford to take chances now. You've seen too much, been through too much. God doesn't speak like this for no reason. He is not calling everyone. He is calling you, not because you earned it, but because He chose you. Because He sees in you what the world crushed. Because He still believes in the beauty He placed inside your soul. Even if you've forgotten it, comment 222 if you trust God's timing over your own. You're still alive because you have something to finish. You're not too late, but the time is short. The spiritual battle around you is not waiting, and the doors you think will always be open may close without warning. God is not trying to scare you. He's trying to save you. He's pulling you back before the edge breaks. He's whispering one last time before the storm arrives. This is divine timing, holy interruption. If you've been feeling like everything has been falling apart lately, it's not because God has forgotten you. It's because He's preparing you for what's about to come. But you have to get in alignment. You have to stop skipping His voice. You've prayed for answers. You've begged for peace. You've wondered why nothing changes. But what if the change was waiting on you to stop ignoring the call? What if the breakthrough you've been crying for is right on the other side of obedience? God is not distant. He is right here, and He wants to walk you through the fire without you getting burned. But you have to take His hand, not just when it's easy, but right now, when it's urgent, when the cost of ignoring Him is too high. What if everything you've been taught about money is a lie? A hidden 9-word prayer buried in a classified FBI report is now helping thousands attract wealth without lifting a finger. Scientists say it activates a 150-million-year-old part of your brain that controls abundance. Harvard-backed, lab-tested, life-changing. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. The pain you've been feeling, the doors that didn't open, the people who left, the sudden shifts in your life. All of it was leading you here, to this very moment. This is not a coincidence. This is alignment, a divine checkpoint. You are being watched, not by the world, but by heaven. Angels are standing still, waiting for your response. And the next chapter of your life depends on what you do with this call. Will you answer or skip it again? A door about to shut unless you respond. 10 seconds might feel short, but heaven doesn't speak in hours. God speaks in moments, and this is your moment. This is a turning point, dressed as a simple message, but it carries the weight of your next season. Everything you've been walking through lately, the delays, the confusion, the sudden loss of peace, is not random. These are signals, spiritual signs that something is shifting. You've asked God for signs before. You've said, Lord, if you're really there, show me. And now here it is, right in front of your face, not just words, but a cry from heaven to your soul. But will you see it? Will you feel it? Or will you scroll past like it doesn't matter? Again, God has kept you safe even when you didn't know danger was near. He blocked attacks you never saw coming. That sickness that didn't spread, that betrayal that didn't destroy you, that depression that didn't win, all of that God. He held you when you didn't even realize you were falling. He made a way when you thought there was none. But His protection isn't automatic. when you walk away from Him. There is a covering that only comes with obedience, and He's calling you back into it before the winds change. If you feel this deep in your soul, comment 333 to declare your faith. Let's talk about the unexpected that's coming. The truth is, the enemy has already been planning your fall. He's been lining up distractions, emotional traps, delays to wear you out, people to misuse your trust. And right before the breakthrough God is about to send, the enemy is trying to sneak in with a counterfeit. That job that looks like a blessing but drains your spirit. That relationship that feels exciting but pushes you away from God. That opportunity that promises success but poisons your peace. It looks good now, but it will cost you later. This is why God is reaching now. He's warning you because He loves you. Not to scare you, but to protect you. There's a narrow window open, and after that the shaking begins. You can already feel it if you're sensitive. The atmosphere around you isn't still anymore. Something is moving, something unseen is drawing near, and you need to be covered. You need to be ready. God isn't asking for perfection. He's asking for surrender. Just a yes from your heart. A real one that doesn't need to be perfect, just honest. Some of you reading this have been one step away from giving up. You've smiled in public and cried in silence. You've said you're okay when your chest felt hollow. You've prayed and heard nothing, and you started to believe maybe God isn't listening, but He is. And that silence wasn't rejection, it was preparation. He's been setting the stage, moving pieces. And now, before the curtains open, He's calling your name. Don't miss this divine cue. You are being summoned by heaven, not because you're perfect, but because you're chosen. Comment 555 if you believe God still has something greater coming for you. There are angels around you now. You may not see them, but they are there. They've been fighting for you behind the scenes, shielding your mind, blocking suicidal thoughts, keeping you from connections that would have destroyed your destiny. The warfare on your life is not because you're cursed, it's because you're called. The enemy doesn't fight what isn't a threat. And the reason you've been under such pressure is because something precious is growing inside you, something eternal, a gift from God that the enemy fears. But with that gift comes responsibility. You cannot keep ignoring God's voice and expect to walk in full power. You can't keep skipping the word and hope for clarity. You can't dance with the world and expect heaven to fight for you. God is merciful, but He is also holy, and He is drawing a line, not because He wants to punish you, but because He wants to separate you from what's been poisoning you. You've grown comfortable with what's been quietly killing your spirit. And God is saying, enough. He's jealous for your heart, not in a controlling way, but in a protective way. He knows what's ahead. He sees what you don't. That's why He's urging you now, before the time runs out, before that decision locks you in, before that door closes, before that temptation takes root. You don't have to fix everything right now. You just have to say yes, to turn your face back toward Him, to stop pretending and let your spirit be real again. There are blessings with your name on them, but they require alignment. There are miracles waiting at the edge of your obedience, but they won't fall if you're walking in the wrong direction. God's grace is deep, but He won't force you. That's why He warns. That's why He whispers. That's why He waits. But not forever. You've been asking for confirmation. This is it. You've been asking for direction. This is it. God is speaking right now through what seems like a small thing, but it's actually a doorway, a spiritual gate. And when you walk through it, things begin to move, chains begin to break. The atmosphere around your life begins to shift. It's not about religion, it's about relationship. You've been distant, but God is near, always has been, and He's ready to restore everything the enemy tried to ruin. Why are neuroscientists obsessed with a 9-word sentence? Because this sentence, spoken once a day, is turning financial stress into sudden blessings. More than 19,000 people have already used it to erase debt and unlock a life of wealth, freedom, and peace. The results are so powerful, some believe it's divine. If you're seeing this, you're lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. The heartbreak, the confusion, the silence, the regret. None of it was wasted. God saw every part, and He's ready to make it all make sense. But you can't keep walking away when He calls. This time, don't skip it. This time, don't scroll past. Stay, listen, let Him work. He's not done with you yet. He's just getting started. He's not trying to scare you. He's trying to prepare you. You're being warned because you're loved. Because heaven sees what you don't. Because something ahead will either break you or bless you depending on the choice you make right now. You can feel it, can't you? That trembling under the surface of your life. That strange urgency. That push in your spirit that won't let you rest. It's God. He's shifting the atmosphere, and this right here is your lifeline. If you felt like time is speeding up, like things are moving too fast, that's because they are. Spiritually, everything is accelerating. And if you're not grounded in God, you'll be swept away by what's coming. God is still reaching out because there's something inside you worth fighting for. You've been through too much to quit now. Too many nights you held on when everything in you wanted to let go. God hasn't forgotten those nights. He's been storing up strength for you. But strength only helps if you're willing to stand. And this is your moment to stand, to choose the narrow way, to step into obedience before the storm shows up and you're left uncovered. Comment 1212 if you know God is speaking to your heart right now. Let's talk about why this message keeps tugging at you. It's because deep down, you know you've been skipping God. You've been brushing off the voice that comes in stillness. You've been silencing the ache in your chest, filling the silence with distractions, social media, people, work, even things that look good but don't grow your spirit. You've built your days around noise, and now the silence feels strange. But God speaks in the silence. He heals in the quiet, and He's calling you back into that place. He's been reaching for you in the middle of the chaos, whispering through people, interrupting your patterns, placing moments like this right in your path. And still, so often, you skip, not because you don't care, but because the world has trained you to move fast. But heaven moves slow, heaven moves deep, and if you keep skipping the slow moments, you'll keep missing the deep ones too. You've been wondering why nothing's changing, why your prayers feel blocked, why your heart feels heavy even when things look fine on the outside. It's not because God is ignoring you. It's because He's been waiting on you to stop moving long enough to hear Him clearly. That anxiety that won't leave you, that's not just stress. That's a spiritual warning. Your soul is reacting to what your mind keeps ignoring. You are not just tired, you are misaligned. God is not angry with you. He's not looking to punish you, but He is serious about protecting you. And if you keep walking into danger, He will warn you louder and louder until you either listen or crash. That's why this is urgent. That's why it keeps chasing your attention. The unexpected is closer than you think. And if you're not standing in the right place when it hits, you'll be shaken in ways you're not prepared for. Comment 777 if you still believe God is able to protect and restore you. He's not reaching for the perfect version of you. He's reaching for the tired you, the broken you, the doubting you, the one who has scars and baggage and still shows up. You've survived storms that should have taken you out. God knows that. And He's not looking to judge you for the past. He's looking to cover you for what's coming. But covering only works if you accept it. If you stop skipping the warnings, if you stop delaying the decision. You don't have to be strong to be saved. You just have to say yes. You just have to pause long enough to let this moment sink in, because after this the shaking continues. The world will keep spinning faster. Chaos will keep rising. People will keep running in every direction. But those who pause and hear God, those who choose Him over noise, those are the ones who will walk through the fire without being burned. You've seen it before. People who seemed strong fall apart overnight. People who seemed blessed suddenly crumble. Why? Because the foundation wasn't God. Because they skipped His voice one too many times. Don't let that be your story. Don't let comfort cost you your covering. Don't let distraction pull you out of destiny. There are blessings that God is holding back not to hurt you but to protect you from misusing them in the wrong season. There are things you've prayed for that God is saying not yet, not because you're not worthy, but because your spirit isn't ready. But if you get back in alignment, if you return to Him, those doors will begin to open. Not just open, but swing wide with favor. Heaven is not silent. Heaven is watching, waiting for your response, for your surrender. You've asked God for change, but real change always begins with obedience. Not big, flashy obedience. Quiet, humble surrender. The kind that says, God, I'm tired of running. I'm tired of skipping you. I want you more than I want anything else. This banned wealth signal was hidden in a government vault for over 70 years until now. It's a simple 9-word brain trigger used by elites to attract unlimited money while the rest of the world struggles. But the moment too many people see this, it could be deleted. Click the link in the description and comments before it's taken down forever. That's all it takes. One real surrender. One moment of honesty. And suddenly, the things you've been trying to fix alone begin to move. Suddenly, your heart finds peace again. Your sleep becomes deeper. Your spirit becomes still. Because when God steps into the center again, everything starts to fall into place. You don't have to understand everything. You just have to trust that God sees what you can't. He's not trying to take control. He's trying to give you peace. But peace can't exist where obedience doesn't. You want joy? Get back in alignment. You want answers? Get back under God's voice. You want protection? Stop skipping the moments when God is trying to reach you. You are not just another person scrolling through content. You are seen. You are known. You are chosen. And right now, God is speaking directly to you. Don't let this pass like it's nothing. Don't tell yourself you'll come back to it later. Later may not come. Obedience has a window, and that window is open now. This is the whisper before the thunder. Something is about to shift, and not everyone is going to be ready for it. But you can be. You still have time to respond. You still have time to reposition yourself under the covering of God's protection. But that window is closing fast, and every second matters. You've been feeling the tension, haven't you? Like something is coming, but you can't quite explain it. That's not paranoia. That's spiritual awareness. That's your soul picking up on what your eyes can't yet see. There's a change in the wind. You've been sensing the weight of decisions. You've been waking up with heaviness. You've been trying to find peace in places that used to calm you, but nothing is settling anymore. That's because the season has shifted. And if you try to stay where you were, you'll miss where God is trying to take you. Comment 999 if you can feel something is shifting around you. God isn't calling you out of comfort to punish you. He's doing it to protect you. There are blessings He has prepared for you, but they're located in obedience. You can't bring them into the space where disobedience still lives. You can't mix divine favor with worldly habits and expect it to work. You've been trying to balance both, and it's wearing you out. That's why you feel torn. That's why nothing seems to fit right anymore. It's not because you're failing, it's because God is trying to make you uncomfortable in a space He's calling you out of. He has seen every moment you stayed quiet when you wanted to scream. Every time you held your breath to keep peace. Every second you carried pain silently, just to avoid being misunderstood. God knows, and He's been holding your heart through all of it. But now He's not just holding you, He's calling you forward into a new place, a higher place. But you can't bring everything with you. Some habits, some people, some places. They can't go where you're going. And if you try to drag them into this next season, they'll weigh you down until you collapse. That's why He's warning you now. Not to destroy what you have, but to save what He's trying to build. God doesn't want to watch you repeat cycles anymore. He doesn't want you going back to the same pain, the same confusion, the same wounds over and over. He wants freedom for you. But freedom isn't free. It requires obedience. It requires letting go. It requires trust, even when you don't understand. Comment 1010 if you're ready to trust God no matter what. You may feel alone right now, but you're not. There are angels surrounding you. There are people God is preparing to bring into your life who will speak life into you the way you've never experienced before. You've been surrounded by people who take, but God is sending people who pour, people who pray, people who lift. But those connections can't come into your life while your circle is still filled with people who feed your fears more than your faith. God is trying to clear space. That's why people have been walking away. That's why certain doors have been closing. That's why you've been feeling isolated. It's not punishment. It's preparation. God has been separating you, not to harm you, but to heal you, because healing can't happen where noise lives. And sometimes God will let you feel alone so you can finally hear Him without distractions. You've been holding on to a version of your life that God is trying to end. You've been praying for peace, but refusing to walk away from what's stealing it. You've been asking for clarity, but avoiding the quiet places where God speaks clearly. This is your moment to shift. This is your moment to lay it down. Not tomorrow, now. Because after this, something is going to change. And what happens next depends on how you respond. This is not about being perfect, it's about being willing. Willing to say, God, I don't know what's next, but I trust you more than I trust what I see. Willing to let go of control and surrender. You don't have to have all the answers. You just need to say yes. That's all heaven needs to move. A simple yes, a quiet surrender, a heart open to be led. And once you do, God takes it from there. He starts shifting things. He starts speaking again. He starts restoring what you thought was gone forever. Can just saying 9 words daily actually make money flow into your life? A top neuroscientist says yes, and the FBI accidentally confirmed it. This forgotten prayer is now transforming ordinary people into debt-free and financially free for life. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the link in description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. There are things that God wants to release over your life: healing, favor, purpose, restoration, but He will not pour blessings into a heart that refuses to receive Him. You have to make space. You have to open your hands and let go of what's not aligned with Him. You can't keep feeding your spirit with things that are draining your faith and expect to grow. You can't walk with God and dance with destruction at the same time. The sudden thing that's coming, it's already in motion. In the unseen, things are shifting. There are battles being fought for your soul. And your choices today will decide the outcome. God is calling you to stand, not in your own strength, but in His, to stop ignoring the signals, to stop running, to stop brushing off the nudge in your heart. Because if you ignore this, what comes next may shake you to the core. But if you respond, if you say yes, if you realign, then what comes next will bless you beyond anything you've seen. You've been marked by God. That's why the enemy keeps attacking you. That's why you've been under pressure. But the pressure was never meant to crush you. It was meant to wake you up. It was meant to drive you back to God, because He's the only place your soul will truly rest. Everything else will fail you. People, money, plans. But God, He never fails, and He never leaves. So here you are, one decision away from alignment, one surrender away from peace. One moment away from divine protection. Don't skip this. Not now. Not when you're this close. Not when heaven is leaning in and watching what you'll do next. Let go of the fear. Let go of the delay. Step in. God is with you, and He's not going anywhere. God is not calling out to the world in general. He's calling out to your spirit right now. And He's saying, don't ignore me this time. Don't walk away like before. I'm trying to protect what you cannot see. The reason this feels heavy is because the weight of your next season is already approaching. The reason this message feels personal is because it is. You are not crazy for feeling like something big is coming. That uneasy feeling in your spirit, that's not anxiety, that's discernment. It's your soul recognizing the spiritual battle ahead. God doesn't send warnings without a purpose, and right now, He is giving you time. A brief, fragile window to respond before something moves suddenly. Comment 1515 if you're choosing to walk in obedience over comfort. You might be thinking, but why now? Why does this feel urgent all of a sudden? It's because there are things being set in motion spiritually that you're not yet aware of. There's a shift that's going to impact lives, families, cities, even nations. And the enemy is hoping you're too distracted to notice. He's hoping you'll skip this moment just like you skipped all the small ones before. But God is hoping for something else. He's hoping you'll stop, that you'll listen, that you'll say, okay, Lord, I'm ready to let you lead now. God is not afraid of your mess. He's not disgusted by your questions. He's not turned away by your fear. He's drawn to your honesty. That moment when you finally drop the mask and whisper, God, I need you. That's where the power starts. That's where things begin to change. But the more you pretend, the more you hide, the more you ignore His voice, the longer you delay what's been prepared for you since the beginning. You are not forgotten. You are not a mistake. You are not too broken to be restored. In fact, your brokenness is exactly what qualifies you for God's mercy. He lifts the humble. He heals the hurting. He restores what others throw away. And He's not finished with you yet. If that were true, you wouldn't be here right now reading these words with your heart beating and your spirit stirred. This is proof that your story isn't over. Comment 1717 if you still believe God is not finished with your life. You've been trying to carry everything on your own, trying to be strong for everyone around you, trying to keep things together while your own heart is falling apart. But God is saying, let me carry you now. Let me fight for you. Let me bring peace where you've only known pressure. You don't have to keep pretending. You don't have to keep running. The safest place to fall is in His arms, and they're open right now. The unexpected that's coming, it may be a test, or it may be a breakthrough in disguise. Either way, it will expose what's really in your heart. If fear lives there, you'll panic. But if faith is rooted deep inside you, you'll stand when others fall. That's why God is preparing you now. So you won't crumble, so you won't be caught off guard, so you'll walk through what's coming with peace that passes understanding. Because while the world shakes, you will be grounded in the one who never moves. There is still time, but not much. This is your invitation to draw near again. Not to religion, not to routine, but to God Himself, to the one who knew your name before anyone else spoke it, to the one who has never left your side, even in the dark. He is your shelter, your healer, your provider, and He will not let the enemy win if you stay under His covering. The protection you're asking for requires positioning. You can't be covered if you're not close. And you can't be close if you're constantly distracted, divided, and distant. That's why He's calling you back to the secret place, back to the quiet, back to the moments where it's just you and Him. That's where strength is restored. That's where clarity comes. That's where peace lives. Why are 55 countries using the same mysterious money script? Because a leaked research file just exposed a 9-word pattern that activates wealth-attracting pathways in the brain. Repeat it daily and watch money flow like water into your life. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. You've been living in survival mode, but God created you to thrive, to walk in joy, to live with power, to speak with authority. But you can't do that if you're spiritually empty. You can't pour if you're dry. You can't fight if you're not filled. And you can't hear God clearly if your life is too loud. That's why this is your reset moment. A divine pause to say, God, fill me again, speak again, lead again. I'm listening now. And when you do that, when you stop skipping Him and start seeking Him, everything changes. The heaviness lifts, the confusion clears, the fear fades, because when God steps into the center, everything else bows. Depression bows, shame bows, addiction bows, delay bows, confusion bows, because nothing can stand in the presence of the Most High God. So you have a choice right now. Keep living like you have been barely holding it together, feeling lost, skipping over His voice, or stop everything, surrender, return. Let Him lead, let Him heal. Let Him transform what you've been trying to manage on your own. There is nothing weak about needing God. There is only power in that surrender. You were not built to carry this alone. You were built to walk with Him. There are some things in your life that are only going to shift once you stop skipping these moments. That healing you've been praying for, that clarity you've been needing, that next step you've been begging to see. All of it is tied to your willingness to hear and obey. This moment is not the end, it's the beginning of something holy. But you must choose it. God is not a distant figure. He's not hiding in the clouds. He is closer than your breath. And right now, He is leaning into your life, whispering, "Stay with me. Don't leave me behind again. I have what you need." The world will offer quick fixes and empty promises, but only God offers eternal peace. Don't trade that peace for noise. Don't exchange His voice for distraction. What's ahead will require focus, obedience, faith. And if you're willing, He will walk with you every step. Not just information, but divine truth, the kind that pierces through every lie, every fear, every doubt you've been carrying. You've been craving something real, something deeper, something lasting, and God is offering that right now, but you have to receive it before time shifts and doors close. The unexpected is not meant to destroy you, it's meant to expose where you truly stand. God is not trying to harm you. He's trying to help you survive what others won't. That's why you feel this urgency. That's why the warnings keep coming. The enemy doesn't play fair. He doesn't attack you where you're strong. He waits for you to be distracted, tired, numb. And when you've been skipping God's voice, you become spiritually unguarded. That's when the attack hits hardest. And that's what God is trying to keep you from. Comment Amen if you're choosing to stay under God's protection. Some of you have been feeling like everything is falling apart lately. It's not. It's falling into place, but not your version of it. God is tearing down what was built without Him: relationships, habits, thought patterns, even goals. If you built it without prayer, it's not going to stand. And that's not rejection, that's mercy. God will not allow something to stay in your life that would end up stealing your soul. You prayed for protection, and now that protection is showing up in ways that don't feel comfortable. This is where trust becomes more than a word. This is where your faith becomes action. When nothing makes sense, when nothing feels easy, when the doors are slamming shut and God says, "Still follow me," that's when the blessing is closest. Right there in the obedience that doesn't come with details. Right there in the surrender that doesn't come with guarantees. But it always leads to peace, to provision, to purpose. The reason God is speaking so loudly right now is because the next part of your journey will not be casual. It will not be light. It will be intense. It will stretch you. But it will also awaken something in you that's been asleep far too long. You weren't made to survive life. You were made to live with authority, to walk in power, to shift atmospheres when you enter rooms. But that kind of life only comes when you stop skipping God's hand. Comment 1111 if you believe God is awakening something powerful in you. You've been through things that others wouldn't understand. You've faced attacks you never told anyone about, and God saw it all. Every silent cry, every long night, every betrayal, every time you wanted to give up but didn't. You may not think you're strong, but heaven calls you a warrior, not because you never fall, but because you keep rising. And now God is saying, let me take it from here, let me lead, let me carry the parts of you that are breaking. This isn't about being spiritual enough or holy enough. This is about being available. God uses the surrendered, not the flawless, the open-hearted, not the perfect. So stop thinking you have to clean yourself up before you come closer. God wants the version of you you've been hiding, the messy one, the angry one, the tired one. That's the one He heals, that's the one He restores, that's the one He loves. And you don't have to understand what's next. You just have to be willing to walk with God through it. The unexpected may come suddenly, but if your soul is anchored in Him, it won't destroy you. The world may shake, people may fall away, storms may hit, but the one who listens to God, who actually follows when He calls, that one will walk through fire and not be burned. That one will see favor in famine. That one will rise when others fall. What secret did the FBI hide about your brain and money? They discovered a phrase just 9 words long that flips a switch in your mind to attract wealth without effort. It's already changed the lives of thousands of people in just weeks. If you're seeing this, you're lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. But you can't get there by ignoring Him. You can't step into blessing while running from obedience. And that's where many people miss it. They want the promise but not the process, the miracle but not the sacrifice. But real power comes through surrender. Real strength comes from stillness. That's why God keeps interrupting you, not to control you, but to lead you into something better than you imagined. He knows the timeline. He sees what's ahead. And that's why He's not staying quiet. That's why He keeps pulling your attention back. You may think you have more time, but spiritually, things are moving fast. What's coming will separate those who are playing with faith from those who are anchored in it. You don't have to be afraid, but you do need to be aware, and you do need to be ready. So how do you prepare for something unexpected? You return to God. You return to prayer. You stop pushing His presence to the side. You make room for Him again. That's how you get covered. That's how you stay protected. Not with just words, but with real closeness, real relationship. That's what gives you peace when chaos hits. That's what gives you clarity when everyone else is confused. That's how you survive storms that were meant to break you. You've been carrying weights that God never asked you to carry. You've been fighting battles that weren't even yours. That's why you feel so tired. It's not just physical, it's spiritual. You've been doing life without the covering that comes from daily walking with Him. And now He's inviting you back. Not to fix everything yourself, but to let Him fix you from the inside out, to rebuild you where life tried to ruin you. This is the part where you choose. You can keep doing life your way, half-hearted, distracted, spiritually tired, or you can choose to walk with God again. To let His voice be the loudest in your life, to follow even when it's hard, to trust even when it's unclear, because that trust is what will save you from the traps ahead. The unexpected may come fast, but it will not catch God off guard. And if you're walking closely with Him, it won't catch you off guard either. You'll be prepared, you'll be protected, you'll be standing while others fall. Because obedience doesn't just please God, it shields you. It guards your heart, it clears your path, and it brings peace that no storm can touch. There's a reason you've been uneasy. A reason you've been waking up in the middle of the night, heart racing, thoughts spinning. It's not anxiety. It's heaven nudging you, pulling you, preparing you. The time for ignoring God's voice has passed. You've done that before, and it cost you. This time, God is saying, don't walk away. Don't miss this. Don't let the moment pass again. There's something just around the corner. It's coming fast, and whether it blesses you or breaks you will depend on your position. Are you covered or are you wandering? Are you standing in obedience or standing on your own strength? Comment 222 if you're choosing to stay covered under God's will. Let's talk about alignment, because that's what this is really about. God doesn't ask for perfection, He asks for alignment. He's not calling you to be flawless, He's calling you to be close. And closeness to God isn't a one-time thing, it's not just a Sunday thing. It's a daily choice, a moment-by-moment surrender. That's what protects you, that's what guides you, that's what sets you apart when the unexpected strikes. You've been trying to figure everything out on your own. You've been making decisions based on feelings, pressure, opinions, even desperation. But now, God is calling you into something different. A place where your decisions are rooted in prayer, not panic. Where you move by wisdom, not impulse. Where you stop reacting to life and start responding with faith. This is what it means to live aligned. Not perfect, but present. Not religious, but real. Alignment looks like saying no to things that pull you away from peace. It looks like quiet mornings with God before the world gets loud. It looks like choosing His word over the noise of opinions. It looks like surrendering the plan you had so you can walk into the one He wrote. You've been running, chasing, striving, and all the while, God has just been waiting for you to return to Him. Comment, Amen, if your heart is ready to return to God fully. You might feel like you've drifted too far, like you've ignored too many signs. But the truth is, the fact that you're still here, still breathing, still reading these words, means grace is still covering you. You haven't missed it yet, but the window is getting smaller. The shaking is coming closer. And the only place that will stand when it hits is the one built on obedience to God. This next season of your life will demand a level of spiritual awareness you've never walked in before. You can't afford to be casual anymore. Casual prayer, casual worship, casual obedience. It won't work. Not with what's coming, not with what God wants to release over you. He's looking for those who are ready to walk in depth, in trust, in surrender. And yes, it's going to stretch you. It's going to require you to let go of things you've depended on for years. Comfort zones, old habits, unhealthy attachments. But that's because God doesn't want you bound in the next season. He wants you free. And freedom always comes with a cost. The cost of letting go of what felt familiar so you can walk into what's truly divine. You've been wondering why things feel off, why nothing satisfies, why the joy doesn't last. It's because your spirit is homesick, not for a place but for a person, for God. You were never meant to live separated from Him. That separation causes fatigue, numbness, confusion. But when you come back into alignment, it's like something in your soul breathes again. The fog lifts, the weight eases, the direction becomes clear. A neuroscientist says yes, a 9-word script long buried in government files can fire up a prehistoric brainwave that pulls money in faster. This breakthrough is already under legal pressure and could disappear any second. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. The unexpected that's coming, whether it's a test or a blessing, will only reveal what you've built your life on. And if you're built on emotions, on people, on titles, on money, on anything other than Christ, it's going to shake you. But if you've built on Him, truly built your trust, your choices, your mindset on His truth, you will not fall. You will be like the house built on rock. Winds will come, rain will pour, but you will remain standing. And that's what God wants for you, not just survival, but stability, strength, supernatural endurance. But that only comes when you're walking in step with Him, when you're not skipping His voice, but soaking in it, when you're not rushing past His presence, but resting in it. And yes, that means you'll look different, you'll sound different. People won't always understand your peace, your faith, your decisions, but that's okay. Because obedience doesn't require validation, it only requires surrender. There's a level of peace you've never known waiting for you on the other side of full surrender. There's a clarity that's been blocked because you've had one foot in and one foot out. But when you finally plant both feet in obedience, when you finally say, God, I'm done doing it my way, things begin to move. The heavens open, the silence breaks, the way clears. Some of the delays you've been facing haven't been from the devil, they've been from God. He's been slowing you down to protect you from yourself. He's been holding doors shut until you're in the right posture to walk through them. Because a blessing given too early becomes a burden. And God loves you too much to give you what you're not ready to carry. But that preparation begins now, not after the storm, not once you feel ready, now. It begins with one simple, powerful word: yes. Yes to His will, yes to His way. Yes to the path that requires trust over control. That's how miracles begin. That's how breakthroughs start. That's how lives shift. So here's your moment. Will you keep walking half awake, half present, half surrendered? Or will you rise up? Will you walk in the power that's been waiting for your obedience? You were born for more than survival. You were created for impact, but impact only comes through alignment, through truth, through a heart that stays close to God no matter what comes. This isn't the end, it's a wake-up call. A holy warning wrapped in mercy, a final pull from heaven saying, come back, come close, come now, Don't wait. Don't gamble with time. The shift is already in motion. And your response now will determine your covering later. He's calling you higher. You can feel it in your chest, can't you? That stirring, that sense that there's more. That you're not supposed to stay where you are. That you can't keep living in this halfway space anymore. God's voice is gentle, but it's not soft right now. It's strong. It's clear. He's saying, enough of the skipping, enough of the ignoring, enough of the waiting until everything falls apart to come to me. He doesn't want you to live in survival mode. He doesn't want to be your emergency escape. He wants to be your anchor before the winds ever come. And they are coming. But you don't have to be afraid if you're aligned. Comment 333 to declare that your life is anchored in Him. Let's talk about fear, because that's been trying to grip you lately. It shows up in your thoughts when you're alone. It creeps into your heart when you hear bad news. It whispers lies when you're tired, and it feeds on distance from God. The farther you drift, the louder fear becomes. That's why God has been calling you back, not to guilt you, but to silence fear's grip on your mind. You can't live in fear and walk in authority at the same time. One will always cancel out the other. If fear rules your life, faith will always feel like a theory instead of a weapon. But when you're walking close with God, fear loses its power. It doesn't mean the storm won't come. It means the storm won't own you. It won't shake you, because your roots will be too deep, your foundation too firm. You were made for more than constant anxiety, more than overthinking, more than hoping for peace but never finding it. That's not God's plan for you. That's what the enemy wants, because a restless soul is an easy target. But God is offering you rest. True rest. Not the kind that comes from sleep, but the kind that comes from surrender. That stillness that wraps around your heart when you know God's got you, even when nothing around you makes sense. Comment 555 if you're ready to trade fear for peace. You're going to need that peace for what's ahead, because the unexpected doesn't wait for your permission. It doesn't ask if you're ready. It doesn't give a countdown. It shows up suddenly, and when it does, the only thing that keeps you standing is what you were anchored to before it hit. That's why God is calling now. That's why the warning is coming now. So you can be prepared, so you can stand. You won't have time to scramble later. You won't have time to build when the shaking starts. You have to build now. Build in prayer, build in worship, build in quiet obedience, build in surrender. Every yes you give to God now is a brick in your foundation. Every time you choose to trust instead of panic, you're strengthening the structure of your life. And when others collapse, you'll stand not because of luck, but because of alignment. You've seen what happens when you try to carry everything yourself. The stress, the breakdowns, the emotional crashes. You weren't meant to do this alone. That's why God keeps stepping in, keeps sending these moments, keeps tugging at your spirit. Not to interrupt your day, but to save your life, your future, your calling. Could your brain be the reason you're still broke? Scientists just confirmed. A 9-word sentence hidden deep in your subconscious may be blocking money from your life. But now you can reverse it. Say these 9 words and wealth starts to follow you, starting today. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. Because yes, you are called, chosen, set apart, even when you don't feel like it. Even when life has tried to convince you otherwise. God didn't make a mistake with you. He didn't overlook you. You've just been in hiding, in waiting, in training. But now, He's saying, it's time to rise. It's time to stop delaying. It's time to walk like you know who you are. You're not meant to stay stuck, to stay scared, to stay broken. God has healing with your name on it, peace that belongs to you, joy that's been waiting to return. But He's not going to force you to take it. He's going to invite you. And right now, this is that invitation. You're not unworthy. You're not too messed up. You're not too late. That's the enemy talking. That's shame lying to you. God's voice doesn't condemn, it convicts. And conviction always comes with a hand reaching down to lift you up. That's what this is. A lifeline. A hand from heaven saying, "Come out of this. Come back to me. I've got you." The world is loud right now, loud with fear, loud with distractions, loud with pressure, but God's voice cuts through it all. And when you really stop to hear Him, you remember what's true, that you're loved, that you're chosen, that you're protected, that nothing, absolutely nothing can separate you from His love unless you walk away from it. That's why obedience matters. It's not about control. It's about covering. You don't obey because God wants power over you. You obey because you need peace within you. You obey because obedience is what positions you under the blessings God's already prepared. They're not locked away forever. They're waiting, and your yes is the key. So take this seriously. Don't brush it off. Don't go back to normal like nothing happened. You're being warned because you're loved, because you matter. Because you're meant to make it through what's coming, not by chance, but by choice. By choosing to stay close. By choosing to keep your ears open. By choosing to finally stop skipping God's voice. You've ignored the tug before. You've said, maybe later, before. You've pushed the feelings aside, told yourself it wasn't that serious. But here you are again. And that's not coincidence. That's mercy. That's divine patience. You keep showing up, even when your faith is cracked and your heart is tired. God doesn't despise your weakness. He draws near to it. But He can't lead you if you're still trying to guide yourself. And if you keep skipping the moments He sends, you'll miss the miracles He prepared. Comment, Amen, if you believe God's mercy has brought you here. Let's talk about the fight you've been in, the one no one sees, the invisible battle in your mind, the days when you seem fine but feel like you're falling apart inside. God knows. You've been battling heaviness, discouragement, even hopelessness at times. Not because you're weak, but because your spirit has been worn thin by constant pressure. And the enemy wants to make you believe you're alone in this, that you're just supposed to push through silently. But God says no more pretending, no more hiding. This is your place of healing now. You were never meant to carry this alone. That's why it's felt so heavy. You've been holding things God never asked you to hold. You've been absorbing pain that should have been laid at His feet. But you can't receive new strength until you release old weight. That's the call right now, release. Let go of what you've been clutching so tightly. Let go of the disappointment. Let go of the timeline. Let go of what you thought life would look like by now. And trust Him, not just in words, but in your posture. Let your soul kneel again. Let your spirit soften again. You've built up walls to protect yourself from pain, but those same walls are keeping God's peace out too. He can't heal what you hide, and He won't force His way into a heart that won't open. But if you do open even just a little, He'll flood in like light through a broken window.